No. Wrong button. Hi. I got a lot of this done yesterday. Actually got a ton of a lot of this done yesterday, to where a lot of this is not here, or at least it's below water. Um, oh, that's something I built yesterday. I don't believe I built it on camera, so let's go show you. Somebody was building one. I didn't build it exactly the way that they built it. Or at least I don't think I did. Um, that's to represent a beacon. So they pretty much built it like this. Except for that they had a really cool design at the top. And I was like, I want to do that, but I don't see how I could. So, anyway. And then I had to go and figure out how to get back to where I was. So I built this. Anyway, so like while I was listening to The Outsiders yesterday, and a few other things. Let's see here. I listened to the Bible and Outsiders, and I'm sure I listened to some of my stories, but I think they were done by the time. Oh, no. That's what it was. I listened to the Bible and Harry Potter and the Outsiders. Just some of the Bible, though. Not the whole thing. But yeah. So, for all of you Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy fans, look for Melting Snow the Dormouse. Melting Snow the Dormouse. But we went with family mode this time because I'm trying to get my story done. And the only reason why we're on here is because I was trying to get this done, and yesterday we were actually going all the way down to Bedrock, and I don't know if something messed up or if I was actually further down than I am now when I was doing that. I was probably further down. Or further that way. I don't actually know. I just know that I want this part out of here. Without doing stupid stuff like that. There we go. So I chose this morning to, instead of working on my story, which I probably could have gotten done, I could have probably gotten the chapter done if I'd bothered to do it. Instead of doing that, I went and chose to put the latest videos in my watch later list. What I need to do is watch some of it. And I have, just not enough. I was watching that yesterday. And this morning, apparently she went to go and lay Giselle down for a nap, and Giselle looked like she was asleep already. But she went to go lay her down for a nap, and there's Princess in like Princess was in the crib, and Millie was in the playpen, and then Chase was in the looked like a dog bed shaped thing, but I think it's for babies so they don't roll off the couch. But even if it is a dog bed, I'm sure it works. So, it's all in how you look at it, or all in how you use it. So, anyway. I only plan to be on here until 10. Notice I said plan. So you know me, I'll probably go until 11 and 12 and yeah. I was going to say in 13. No, that would be 1, but one of these days we will get to go back to coloring houses, and hopefully I left myself a note of, this is the last house we worked on. I really need to, actually leave a note, have a sign on there going, this is the last one that we, painted. Or, I mean, this is the next one that we need to paint, or something like that, Because a few months ago, or a couple of months ago, something like that, I had the overwhelming urge to build the high school. And then I was like, I had the overwhelming urge to put the ocean down here, because that one kid that wants to go surfing or fishing or whatever, and ditch school and be able to go surfing or fishing or whatever. Although I think it would be pretty hard to go fishing, because it would probably be ocean fish, and ocean fish are pretty big. But I was thinking about that kid that is in school, and they're not thinking about school, they're thinking about fishing. Maybe their dad owns a fishing boat, and that's all he's thinking about, is going out on that fishing boat and catching fish. Or the kid that thinks they're resigned to their fate because dad owns the fishing boat company, and they go out on the boat all the time, but he really wants to be an artist or something. I don't know. I overthink. I really do. Because this is a build from my books. This is where they are during the school year. Because I was like, okay, living on a ship is great, but how are they going to go to school? And then I was like, okay, well, maybe they got a contract kind of a thing with the school that, during the school year. Hi! Get off my desk. Thank you. Of course, if you could quit smacking me with that thing you call a tail, that'd be great. No, I'm glad that you even have a tail, so that's, awesome. So, we think that something happened and her tail is growing. We're not entirely sure. Maybe it just, kind of extended itself, but it does seem to be growing because it was like a lot shorter before. Um, I don't know what happened, but it was a lot shorter before. So it's like we're enjoying watching her little tail grow. It'll be nice in the summertime because that tail of hers is a nice little fan. Huh, Bobby? Only problem is that she keeps fanning me when it's too cold in the house. It's okay though. There we go. So the pirate movie is playing silently in the background right now. Because I figured that would be the best way to not miss any of the videos I need to watch. I've been watching the pirate movie since I was a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch that one either. I think, some of the talk is a little too old for me. I mean, at that age that I started watching it. That it would have been too old for me. But that's okay. I've been watching it all my life, and I knew that the little person was going to say something that I didn't want to hear, so I always plugged my ears. But then you miss the next line because your ears are still plugged, Or well, there's another scene, and I can't off the top of my head right now think of what was going on in it. I want to say, okay, but I want to say it was when Frederick's saying, "I'm leaving the ship," and they all go, "Oh, poop," except for they use their other word. And I think that was one of the ones that I always kind of plugged my ears, because I wasn't supposed to be saying those words or hearing those words. So, but I don't know why we didn't have very many kid movies in the house. It's like nowadays, your kid likes Bluey, you get every Bluey DVD you can, or if they're on Blu-ray, so you can keep them watching the show that they want to watch, because it's not always on TV. And, it just wasn't like that when I was a kid. I mean, we had some kid stuff, But like we had a videotape that I think it was recorded off TV, but I'm not sure. Um, it was Indiana Jones and um, the Last Crusade. No, not the Last Crusade. The Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then um, and then it had Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And then Boatniks. I still have not, to this day, seen Boatniks. I always fast forwarded past Boatniks. I did not want to give it a chance, and I still have not done that. I probably will one of these days. I'm sure it's on Disney Plus right now, but I still have not seen it, and I'm sure I would like it now, but I just didn't like it then. So I think the thing at the end of I know the thing at the end of the video was some Winnie the Pooh cartoons. So, so I would fast forward past Raiders of the Lost Ark and past Boatniks and watch everything else on the videotape. And I was probably just dang lucky that, literally, I was probably just dang lucky that, I didn't mess up the tape. But like I said, I think they were recorded off a TV. And we weren't using them for, bad stuff like, selling those movies on the black market or something like that. We weren't doing anything like that. We're just, watching them at home. And that was an acceptable thing back then. You get HBO, Showtime, Disney, whatever. And you recorded it on with your VCR, which is probably why we don't have VCRs anymore. But anyway. Yeah, except for a DVR can only hold a certain amount of stuff. He's got a point there. We can record on a DVR. But, like I said, it doesn't hold as much. So, yesterday I was taking this part and going all the way down to bedrock. And it's long, it's a long, tedious process. It's really annoying, and I really don't have the time to concentrate on it today. So, I was trying to get this book done before we went on vacation. It's a dumb thought, really, because I know me. I will get, like I did yesterday and the day before, where I'm like, Minecraft, I've got to get it done, And then yesterday, I came to the realization of, you know what? July 4th is just just a few months away. I still have not finished. I don't like the way the end of the street goes. So what I'm gonna have to do is fix it. Yeah, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'll probably come up with a smaller version of whatever for this year, and then make that one that I was doing for next year. Because I got stuck on doing the high school, and the high school needed to be done. And the computer classroom still needs to be finished, and the insides of the classrooms, but that's about it. Oh, and the library. The library definitely needs to be finished. It needs books. Lots and lots of books. Anyway. Oh, good. Woohoo. Okay, so what's this one? Okay. Melting snow. The dormouse. Hey! In about 5 days, we will have 3/26/26. And I won't have to press different buttons. Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy. Jeopardy. Thank you, Jeopardy. There you go. And then this one is just to make sure. Yes, Streamlight Valley. Okay. Blue chest. Although we did a few other things just to make sure. We went looking all over the place for another blue chest, and I never found it. So I'll end up going on there later and seeing if we can oh, 3/21/26 Dream. No, there we go. Dreamlight Valley. Okay, my fingers were trying to spell DREMA. Doesn't work, but that's what they were trying to spell. Okay, okay, fine. Oh, hey, you're hearing it here second? It says Chuck Norris has passed away at 86. Just turned 86. He's sparring with this trainer on his birthday. Okay. So, it was probably just, how old age gets you all of a sudden, and they specifically said they don't know details. I'm kind of hoping that wasn't on my stream, but on the other hand, if it was, then, it's okay. That was Fox News, and it's on YouTube right now. I'm sure you could type, if you can't see it, you could probably type Chuck Norris into the thing and find out all the info. That is so weird. These are actors that I've known about for years, and all of a sudden they're not with us anymore. Or the rumor is that they unalived themselves. I still don't want to believe that even if he was manic depressive, I still don't want to believe that Robin Williams would have done that to himself, you know? I still want to believe that somebody broke in and made it look perfect. Yeah, like wait, who was John Wilkes Booth supposedly of? Was that Lincoln or JFK? Okay. Yeah, like they said John Wilkes Booth was the one that unalived President Lincoln. And now they're saying, "Oh, well, what?" Yeah, I probably need to read my history book before I start talking about it, but um no, I'm saying that like all of a sudden now they're saying that maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was somebody else. Well, with Robin Williams, I seriously, you know, he wasn't so tall that he could maybe, stand on a chair and unalive himself like they said. And like, what if it was just a crazed fan? And it's a crazed fan that also happens to watch a lot of cop dramas. Gets all the details of how to make it look like he did it, but he really didn't do it. And like maybe it's a crazed fan that like maybe it was a crazed fan that feels like he let Robin Williams' soul out into the world. Like it was trapped in his body, and then now it's released, kind of thing. But why would I do it? I loved Robin Williams movies. What? Oh no, I'm not overly crazed fan. I never watched Dead Poets Society. There's a whole bunch of movies I have not seen from him. Like Good Morning Vietnam. I think we started to watch that, and then we're like, no, don't want to watch that. I don't know. I think we borrowed it from the library or something like that, or maybe we saw it um, on Samsung TV Plus. I don't remember, but however we watched it, we were like starting to watch it, and then something happened, and it was like, no, or at least I didn't finish watching it. Maybe he did. I don't remember. Maybe husband did. So I don't like calling him by his gamer tag because it's like that's my husband. So sometimes I call him Darth. Sometimes I call him husband. When we're talking on the video, just in case you're new around here. I will normally call our son Squibs because that's his gamer tag. We do the stranger danger thing here. It used to be because they were kids. They were under 18, and stranger danger. It's just, you never know with the internet. You could be talking. I mean, you could be like, I don't think they have, those kind of chat rooms anymore. Maybe they do. I don't know. But, like, you could be in the elderly Dutch woman, chat room. I'm using the analogy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer that Xander came up with. But, like, you could be in the elderly Dutch woman chat room and, also be a elderly Dutch person, and you guys are talking, and then it actually be, two Dutch people talking. But then on the other hand, it could just be one of those, truck drivers that goes from one end of America to the other and has finally just gone postal. You don't know. So I'm just saying be careful. I'm not saying the internet is evil and we need to end it as we know it. As we speak, we need to kill it. No, I like the internet. That's really cool that our son can be in California, we can be in Nevada, and we've got another friend in Arizona, and we can all play together on GTA, or, well, any game that, is multiplayer like that. Did you want to get down, or did you want to keep getting petted? Okay, that's what I thought. Now, get your paw off my desk. Thank you. You know you're not supposed to be touching my desk. Mostly, she comes over and gets petted by me. Huh, Bobby? I think she's mama's girl. Where's a mama's girl? Mama's girl. Anyway, I need to figure out how to get 3 cats in the stroller. I mean, usually we just go and put them all in the, we have the seat laid down all the time, and we'll go and put one cat in in toward the back, and then put one in the middle and one toward the front. But since Bobby doesn't get along with the other two, we can't do that. Well, she kind of gets along with Ben, but I can't go and put Sam. I can't go and put Sam underneath. He's too heavy. And Sam and Bobby don't get along together. So no, that's because they decided they didn't like each other. They just got a rivalry going on. It's because Sam was trying to make friends, and Sam was gonna make friends. He really was. He was gonna be a good boy and make friends with his new friend, But she started hissing and growling at him. So he's like, fine. And so now he chases her back up the cat tree anytime she gets down, and he's just a real butt. So, yeah. Yeah, it's 10. I need to stop. But the problem is that I was gonna go and try to get that over there. Because I was supposed to be streaming until 11 anyway, but, that's me trying to talk me into, Oh, you know what? It helps if you go and put the videos on the thing where you need them. When you're trying to put them on YouTube to actually go and do it. Okay, so that is games I like to play. And it's Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy. No, 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 no. The other one, Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy. And then Disneyland Adventures, because that's what's going to be on tomorrow. And don't worry for my character. I'm playing creative mode, so it's not a big deal. You do not have to worry about her drowning. Yeah, I'm very confused because they always say Alex is not in the game. And then Dreamlight Valley, Dreamlight Valley, Dreamlight Valley. There we go. And then what is my character? She is Alex. And I was very confused because, like, Steve and Alex were always hanging out together. And I didn't know that they were supposed to be a couple. And then I realized that they were. And then I'm like, well, is Alex a girl or a boy? Just a sec. Okay. So, ideally, Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy coming out first would be better, but I just loaded both of the videos that I've done this morning. This is another one. Hopefully the last one until we can get back from Costco. Just need kitty litter, Cheetos, and preferably ice cream from Walmart. I like to get the little ice cream cups, you know, like the Ben and Jerry's, but a lot cheaper. I'm sorry, Ben and Jerry's, but your ice cream is expensive. And, you know, I've tasted a few others. I mean, a few of their flavors. And I didn't like any of them except for Cherry Garcia. Yeah, Cherry Garcia was pretty good. But the rest of them, not really. But that's my opinion. You know, a lot of people love Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So, you know, it's just, you know, what you think is good. You know, don't let me sway your vote at all. I just know what I like, and I'm pretty much stuck in a rut. But yeah, I think we'll, you know, I'll get that, chapter done. I think I'll probably get that chapter done, and then we'll go to Costco, and then we'll, get that chapter done, go to Costco, get the stuff that we need, and come home. And if we can get a crowd, because we need at least 2 more people, we could play GTA, but I think the boys were disappointed because we didn't do their stuff too. So, they might be a little upset at us. Oh, and I don't like what they taught him. That you were upset about, I mean, somebody was upset about something the night before, and then you just wake up the next morning and say, all done, and it's done. Sometimes, no, I'm just saying, like, your problem doesn't go away just because, you woke up the next morning. Well, not necessarily. I mean, if your problem is that you were trying to sleep and your cat is now asleep, then it does kind of go away, but you really got to teach your cat to quit waking you up in the morning. Um, yeah, it took us like 2 years to get Nancy to quit waking us up in the middle of the night. Everybody at church got really tired of, that being the prayer that we had. It's like, this is very important to me. You don't understand. You don't have a cat. You don't get it. But God does. That was the important part. God did know, and he just worked on Nancy until, she actually stopped bugging us in the middle of the night. She'd just kind of, I guess, watch us instead, and, because I think Nancy thought I was broken. I snore, so I think she thought I was broken, but I wasn't. It's just family genes, you know. I guess the way our noses are constructed, make it to where we snore. I have no idea. I don't exactly know what all entails the snoring process, but I'm like, I got the snoring problem. So, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that I keep saying, yeah, I got all the bad stuff in the family. But, there's good stuff too. Like, well, like I had to get my gallbladder out, but that helped because now I can eat bread again. I can eat, as long as I'm not too crazy with it, I can eat, sugary stuff again. I don't want to go too crazy because I'll get diabetic. Or I fear I will get diabetic. Because we did have that in the family. That was grandma and mom, so, mama. Well, mom was borderline, but she's not blood related, so, that doesn't exactly count, but I'm not, like, saying, yeah, blow her off because she's not blood related. I'm not saying that in the least. I'm just saying that, it's, like, bad example because, she's not blood related, so she didn't put any genes in here, GENES, not like blue jeans. I don't want anybody to get confused. Most people are smart enough to know that I mean, the parts that make us up, But just in case, because there could be somebody out there who read the instructions on the shampoo bottle and is still in the shower, but somehow watching YouTube, because it says lather, rinse, repeat. It doesn't say lather, rinse, repeat. So you're lathering again, and then, rinse it off, and then, when you're ready to get out of the shower. And just in case there's that person who's not in the know, maybe they ought to upgrade the instructions. Oh, he's talking to somebody I don't even recognize. Hmm. On the Xbox. I thought maybe his mom had called up and said, I need to write after all. I I was getting upset. Because the thing was that um I did not want to go to Costco today. I wanted to go yesterday because he had to take his mom to her sewing class. She teaches a sewing class. Um, he had to take his mom to her sewing class today, and it turns out that my father-in-law has the day off, so he's off the hook for that. Well, every time that we go anywhere with her, like I'm trying to join in on the conversation too. My mother-in-law can't hear me, so she starts talking over me. And then when she can hear me, she talks over me anyway. Like I'm not important. And, I feel alienated in the back seat because, she can't sit in the back seat. Oh no. Our truck. But anyway, so we don't have to put up with that. We just have to go to Costco sometime today, which probably won't be anytime soon now. Because you got a friend to play with. Anyway, I do need to get my story done, and I want to try to get the chapter after the one that I'm working on done. And, if I can get 10 pages done, that'd be great. If I can't, then, try again tomorrow. But I was listening to part of my story yesterday. Oh, I think I was listening to part of Sweet Revenge the other day while we were at um In and Out. Okay, so I had a problem where I needed Coca-Cola, and there's only two restaurants, or no, there's three restaurants that do Coca-Cola to where we can actually drink it. Oh, well, I think Panda Express does too, but they're usually too expensive to eat at nowadays. We go there like when we know all of the bills are paid and we do not need any more money. We'll go there. But we're trying not to go and eat out. Except for hot dogs at Costco. We're trying not to eat out because we want to make sure that we have enough money for the trip. Because we do we have the gas money set aside? Well, I thought you said we did. I know. Anyway, we still gotta save up the gas money and the food trip money. I mean, we're probably gonna go out the night before and make sure that we have stuff like food for breakfast the next morning. Like those breakfast bowls that come with eggs and if you want it, sausage and bacon. stuff like that in it. And, whichever one you want. They even have one that's like, um, uh, something with gravy. I want to say it's like biscuits and gravy. I don't like biscuits and gravy, but that's only because it's got pepper in it. And pepper's not my spice, I mean, if it's blended, it's fine. But if it's not blended, pepper's not my spice. So, like if we make up certain foods, it's usually got salt in it and no pepper. In fact, I think we stopped buying pepper. It's just there's certain things that are like I don't know, like the best way to describe it is it's too dark a food for me. And I think pepper's one of them. It's just, not my flavor. But, if you like it, that's perfectly fine. That's another thing I'm trying to, promote around here, kind of, is that, the different choices we make in our life does not have to make us enemies. We can still be friends. Like maybe you like red and I like blue, but, it doesn't have to be like uh, a really horrible thing where a big fight gets started over it. Um, and I'm sorry that just kind of referenced something, um, like it in, uh, when one of us was going to school, I don't remember if it was me, I mean, when I was in school specifically, but like when my husband or maybe it was my sister or my brother. Anyway, when a family member was going to school, you couldn't wear red or blue to school because of the situation that I was unintentionally referencing. And it was just weird. You just weren't supposed to wear red or blue because, you could be in, um, well, I'll just come out and say it. You could be in that gang. And they didn't know that you just like red shirts or blue pants. It's like, there's a whole bunch of people who wear blue jeans. You can stop them from wearing blue jeans just because they happen to be blue. Um, you know, it's like there's a whole bunch of people who wouldn't have any pants otherwise. Or shorts. Well, I guess we'll go until 11 and then we'll do the story. I've got less than a page left. He's gotten to the point where he's trying to bribe Angel with the carrots. He's got 2 carrots. He's trying to bribe Angel into being his friend long enough to go for a horse ride. I mean, a ride on horseback. So Angel will be too tired to So Angel would be too tired to uh, stop him from uh, from okay, so Ashley's supposed to be going to stop Sean from um okay, wait. Sean's supposed to be going on a date with Tracy, but he's really not. And Ashley's gonna go out and try to stop him from going out on that date. Or at least, she's gonna follow him to the movie theater on her horse. And I'm suddenly thinking I had to change that to her motorcycle, but then it's not as mysterious. But we've already said something that makes taking her motorcycle impossible, because her Uncle Ben, honorary uncle, not blood related, but her Uncle Ben has a night blindness issue, and he came into the garage and accidentally ran over her motorcycle. So that's another piece of story. That's another piece of story that I need to work on, is writing in that she got her motorcycle license, and the details behind it and all that. I am so confused because I know that the pleated part is over there, but it's try not to get lost, after you've gone all the way down, that is issue. So there's a movie called High Spirits, and it's got Steve Guttenberg in it, and that is now playing silently in the background. And the thing is that they they're visiting the castle. It's supposed to be a touristy thing, or maybe not. I think it's supposed to be a bed and breakfast kind of thing, but nobody ever goes there. It's old, it's run down, everything's got dust on it. Nobody wants to go there. So they're like supposed to be making renovations, fixing it up, and then all of a sudden, they get the idea of, okay, let's pretend there's ghosts. So they go and make fake ghosts. Well, the real ghosts get upset about them impersonating with fake ghosts, and they don't want Castle Plunkett to go to Malibu, or he says Malibu. But it turns out that there are real ghosts. One of the or the TV has like one channel, and the lady that's doing the exercising, I don't know why she's the only person on the screen, because usually when you're exercising you got a group of people with you, but she was the only one on the screen, and that's like the only channel that will come in good, and they I don't know why, but they throw a shoe at the TV because, maybe that'll make it work better or something. And she goes and catches the shoe and throws it right back at them. So it turns out she's a ghost too. Um, and at one point, the one lady is watching TV and she's like watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous or something like that. And which is kind of funny because on the other TV, that one came in. But anyway, she's watching like something like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and she thinks Brother Tony is cute, and there's these ghosts that are dressed like, I think, evil nuns. And the evil nuns go and throw him out of his window into the moat looking swimming pool. And then, oh, wait a minute. That looks like, I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to have to go up there and. Anyway, he gets thrown into the moat looking swimming pool. And she gets thrown into the moat looking swimming pool. And they kind of, they get out of there, but somewhere in the movie they decide that they'd like to try dating. But the thing is that he was studying to be a priest, and he gave himself this trip as a treat, but it ended up being that, he found her instead. So where's friend? Was he there in the first place? Okay. Well, because you were saying something about his mic cutting out. Ah. Is that friend or just random person that saw that you were playing the game too? Okay. Friend. Well, because if I'm going to share that on my stream, then, I ought to know if it's a friend or just a random person that thinks you might have the party needs. That's something that Dreamlight Valley has that's really cool. You can have a thing called a dream team, and if you don't, like, say you don't have it and you're playing with your sister, like I do, that's why that's being used as an example, your sister has it, then you can get it from your sister. So quite often she's like, oh, I just need 6 more sticks and I'm good. And I'll be like, okay, here. It's like, okay, ask for it. And then, I give it to her and she's got it. And I make sure that I don't give her anything that she doesn't already have in her valley because she does not have the DLCs and I do. But I make sure to give her just stuff from the valley. So when we're playing together but separately, because she's playing hers and I'm playing mine, I'll go and make sure that the options on Dreamlight Valley before I go looking for whatever she might need. You know, so I'm not giving her almonds or snippets or something, you know. Well, since we don't have anybody to play with, should we go to the store now? Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to get this to where it's all open as much as possible, and we can go and get it down to bedrock later. But getting it down to bedrock is a lot harder. Or I could trust squibs. I don't always like to... You know what? Yeah. Okay, those are both done. Good. Now I need to put this back to Twitch. There we go. Oh, wait, what? Okay. Why did I do that? There we go. Okay. Oh, watch something to earn Twitch drops. Oh! If you watch me while I'm live, you can earn Twitch drops. It doesn't say what they are, though. Oh, it says view details. Oh, okay, so, chasing chickens, tiny takeover, chasing chickens emote, tiny takeover, baby chick slippers, and quackity QSMP2 on QSMP2. The other two are on Minecraft. I am so confused. Oh, there we go. And I've got a new friend on Discord. Oh, I need to go on Discord and actually talk to people. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I just want to get it mostly to where you're standing up there at the top and you cannot see the land on the other side of the water. Hopefully you can see that little island, but if you can't see that little island, then that's kind of okay too. It's just an island with sand and 2 trees. And it wouldn't be important to the story, except for that's where they Morgan is angry at Hayden, and um I want to say it's in Betrayal. That's one of my that's one upcoming book. That's gonna be a long time in the making though. I mean it's done. It's just you know, I haven't audioed it yet, and on top of that, I don't know where it's gonna fit into the storyline at the moment. It's like where you have the beginnings books and then you know there's a whole bunch of books in between, and then there's Esperanza's party. You know, it's like that. So so I just don't know where it's gonna fit. But anyway, she's really mad at Hayden, and like all summer, Hayden's been sleeping in the secret passageway. They made him a little, you know, a little area, and he cannot get out. I mean, he can get out using the secret passageway door into the cargo area, but other than that, he doesn't have a second way out, you know? So, so the one time Hayden really has to go to the bathroom, and she's blocking his way on purpose. But somewhere in that story, he gets thrown off the ship. You know, she's already like, I think she's already shot him, stabbed him with the sword, but you know, made sure it was places where he was definitely not going to die. But he doesn't realize that until Sean tells him. So then he knows that, you know, he knows that she still loves him, but he still thinks his marriage is over, kind of thing, because he kissed that woman, you know. But anyway, so they go back on to Ireland, and it's not the end of the, I mean, you know, it's not the beginning of the school year yet. It's just that it wasn't really fun to be on the ship without everybody being happy. And actually, it might have been in the middle of the school year that this is happening. I can't remember. Anyway, so Sean noticed that Hayden was on that little island, and decides to help him out. Like I said, it's gonna be like I'm gonna make it way too small, but you know, there's like that, and then we'll make this the fake tree, you know, and so Hayden's sitting against the tree, you know. Well, there's a second tree, so you know, there's a second tree, and Sean helped Hayden out. Well, Morgan had already said he who helps Hayden out is going to share the same fate, but I don't think Sean was there at the time because he was getting the stuff ready so he could help Hayden out. He went and made like a little speedboat so it could get a backpack full of food and water over to Hayden. Well, he packed either a week's worth of food for one, or like, you know, 4 days or 2 days or whatever it was. I think it was 2 days worth if it was just, I mean, you know, if it was the two of them. So maybe it was 4 days if it was Hayden, and then 2 days if it was the two of them. I don't know, something like that. You know me, my memory doesn't work very well. But anyway, whatever it is, so he got thrown over the side of the ship too. Ends up on the island. They uh, patch each other's wounds up, and uh, then they're sitting there, and Hayden's miserable. So they like don't talk until dinner, which is like cheesy crackers. Okay, so I'm calling them cheesy crackers, but they're Ritz crackers. I don't say that in the book because Ritz hasn't given me permission to use their name. But it's Ritz crackers with cheese that doesn't have to be refrigerated. I mean, it's like cheddar cheese, but like it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Or it's okay to be out for now kind of thing, but you leave it out for a couple of days and it's gonna turn green. I don't know. Anyway, I remember we used to be able to do stuff like that when we were younger. You used to be able to take like salami and crackers and salami and the cheesy crackers, and well, regular crackers if you want those, but and have cheese on it, and I don't know how we did it. Maybe there was like I don't know, more preservatives or something like that, so it didn't go bad as easily. I don't know. But I remember we used to be able to do that when we were kids. But, like, you couldn't have, say you left for the lake at, like, 9 o'clock in the morning, because I think the lake was an hour away. Might have even been longer than that. But, like, the lake is far away. And if it wasn't that we had to be back for him to go to work on Monday, I'd say that we stay over on Sunday also and see if everyone wants to go to the lake. Just because I don't think my husband's ever seen it, for one. Lake Berryessa. Yeah, see, he's never seen Lake Berryessa. He has seen the ocean, though, so that's cool. Wait, have you seen the ocean? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, he used to live near the ocean, and Daly City, which is, it's like Fairfield, California, and Suisun, California. They're literally separated by, Fairfield and Suisun are separated by railroad tracks, and Daly City and San Francisco are like separated by a government line or something like that. A district line, just an imaginary line. I mean, I guess it's a little more than imaginary, but it's there. So anyway, that's part of the reason why I know you're probably getting tired of me talking about Nash Bridges, but I like that show. It's a good show. Anyway, that's why I like it so much, is because it's in San Francisco, and they actually use places that do exist in San Francisco, and they're not saying um say not Ghirardelli. What? What is that, Geary? The street in San Francisco starts with a G. Geary. Okay, yeah, they're not like saying, let's say, Geary and 12th Street or something like that, and there's no like really no Geary and 12th Street. Like I swear, Streets of San Francisco did. Or like they're saying they're on the way to the hospital and they go by the same fire hydrant place 6 times. I don't think that happened, but we'll just use that as an example. Um, but like the one time they were like going down the road like they were going toward Alcatraz, which I'm pretty sure there's no hospital over there. I don't really know. I haven't been there in a very long time. Our daughter was 3 at the time, and she's like going to be 24 this year. If that puts into perspective. Yeah, she's going to be 24 this year. Yeah. Well, because our daughter was born in 2002. So all you have to do is take the number and I was going to say divide it by 2. Subtract 2. All I have to do is take the year and subtract 2, and I've got, what she's going to be that year. Anyway, she's about to be 24, and I'm kind of hoping that she finds the man of her dreams, and that he's not a gambler. But anyway, yeah, I haven't been there since she was like 3. Or actually, I think she was 2. I really want to say she was 2. She might have been 3, though. No, she had to have been 2 because that was over the summer. And when she was 3, we were in Tahoe. And you want to freak a kid out. Oh my goodness, you want to freak a kid out and do it really well. Take your 3-year-old and move 3 hours away. And, I thought I was talking to her about it, and, we're gonna go live with Daddy and, all this stuff. And then, it was like she kind of realized, oh, Daddy doesn't live in Fairfield or Suisun, so I'm gonna be in a whole different place. Are they even gonna have the same food? And she freaked out. But as soon as I showed her that they've got bacon, she was fine. We moved from Fairfield, California to South Lake Tahoe, California. And if you're one of those people who, if they don't see the moon for a really long time, they go crazy. Not crazy like psycho killer or anything like that, but they just get irritated and all that. I don't suggest moving to South Lake Tahoe. Besides that, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because there's not as many jobs as there would be in other places, and it's just kind of hard. And if you like to go into the library, I mean, their library would fit in our house, I think, and it's not that big, so I might be exaggerating a little bit, but am I? It wasn't that big of a library. Okay, he says it's bigger than this place. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. He's trying to say that the library in South Lake Tahoe is bigger than our library here. I don't think so. That thing was tiny. And they were charging for video rentals when in Fairfield they weren't. I mean, if you borrowed the movie and didn't bring it back because you lost it somehow, then they made you pay. But like just to rent it, it was $1 in South Lake Tahoe, and we had been, renting them just with our library card before.
Idle for too long. I was on the loading screen, you daft. Shit!
Well, it is Saturday. So, my husband was on a loading screen. What game were you playing?
Star Trek.
Okay, he's playing Star Trek, and he was on a loading screen. A loading screen. And it says, you were idle too long. What the heck? Anyway, so we gotta go to Costco. So, I do write books, and they are available on Amazon. I always say Amazon. I don't say Amazon.com because, here in the United States it's Amazon.com. But in other places it's like .co.uk, or maybe in Japan it's like .jp, something like that. So I just say Amazon. But I do mean, the online company Amazon, and that's where my books are. And they go on a you order it and then they print it out, and yeah, an on demand. It's an on demand system. But still, it's available for free shipping. You know how they have the order $25 or more and you get free shipping. They're available for that. And yeah, with the Amazon Prime. And hey, you got subscriptions that you don't even use. Well, I use it when I have money to buy stuff. Well, we still haven't proven that I don't need it to publish my books. Technically. Anyway. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Well, I got it for free one time. And then we turned it off. And I don't know why it's back on. Because the idea was that I'd get it for free that time. And then, we're supposed to turn it off before we owed them any money. Well, we made one payment, and I could have sworn that we turned it off after that, and it's back on. So I don't get it. But anyway, so my books are Pirate's Daughter, which introduces the captain; Misfortune, which introduces her boyfriend Hayden. The captain is Morgan, and I did not name her after the alcoholic drink. I actually named her Morgan because in the Beverly Hillbillies movie, where Jim Varney is playing Jed, that would be Ernest P. Worrell for you who do not know his real name. And if you don't know who Ernest P. Worrell is, look up, Ernest Goes to School, Ernest, Saves Christmas, Ernest Scared Stupid. All three of those have been on Amazon. Sorry, YouTube at one point in time. I'm sure all of them are on Amazon to buy, but that's not what I was advertising. I was actually just advertising that, occasionally his movies are on YouTube. So anyway, then Hard Times introduces William oh, what I was trying to say is that Jim Varney plays Jed on that one, on the Beverly Hillbillies movie that I'm talking about. And um the next door neighbor's kid, I want to say that's Mr. Drysdale. Um his son, instead of being Sonny like it was on the TV show, his name is Morgan. And they've got like a Starbucks cart in the um in the school, and he orders some uh a couple of you know lattes or coffees or something like that. Anyway, and then the bully comes up, and um it's agreed that he'll wire the $400 lunch money to his account by the end of the day. And Ellie Mae, she's got to go to school because she's still school age, and she's like, "Don't let him do that to you." And she goes and wrestles the bully. Well, no, she agrees to wrestle the bully. Then later, she does wrestle the bully. So, like, the wrestling coach wants her on the team, even though the rest of the team is all guys. Anyway, so there's that Morgan. And then in the movie Cutthroat Island, which is not where I got the idea to make my pirate books, I wanted to make a pirate book or a Robin Hood kind of book way before that, but it just happened that the same year that I came up with that idea, literally the day before I saw the first Cutthroat Island commercial, is when I came up with the idea for all of this. Did I get done? I am so confused. Oh, because I was over here. Okay. So I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to leave all that under there, and while I'm finishing my outro, if my husband will let me. Really? I've got proof otherwise. Anyway, so my books are available on Amazon, and oh, yeah, on Cutthroat Island, the main character, that is played by Gina Davis, is also Morgan. So, that's not where I got the idea from. I have loved pirate stories ever since I was a kid. So, like swords and like I used to watch Peter Pan, and actually I don't think we had Peter Pan until I was older, but like, Peter Pan and maybe I was watching Peter Pan on the commercial, like, hanging out with Tinkerbell or something like that on Disney. But that was before it was Disney Plus. So it was just Disney Channel back then. Anyway, and Robin Hood I love Robin Hood stories. It's like, the one person that is willing to stand up to the bad guys who are stealing everybody's money and, do something about it. We need a Robin Hood. Anyway, so, so my Hard Times introduces the first mate who has also dated Morgan, but that's not the point here. Um, it introduces first mate, and then finding love finding love when I finally get to that one is going to introduce our navigator, which Morgan and Jake, the navigator, is Jake. Um, they are so close that they're like sister and brother. So, Morgan calls Jake's mom, Jane, mom, and I don't know if I'm going to have, uh, if I, um, if I had Morgan's mom in a scene, I don't know if I'm going to have Jake call her mom or what. Haven't made that decision yet. Um, but, hearing that, you're going to think that something's weird now. But anyway, um, and then there's Esperanza's party, which is years later. The captain's daughter and the first mate have been best friends forever, and they kind of decide that they want it to be more than just friendship. They want to start dating. So that's Esperanza's party, and I really cannot explain too much for the island. You're gonna have to read that one, and there's a really good reason for that because there's something on that island that Sean and Jesse just did not count on. Then there's Lessons in Love. Well, Sean and Jesse, I mean, Sean and Jesse, Sean and Ashley have been dating, and he breaks up with her because her dad is just too scary to keep dating. But then all of a sudden, there's this mysterious ninja that I really want to rewrite it that way. To where you don't know who the mysterious ninja is. But anyway, there's this mysterious ninja that is, um, breaking parts of his truck, and, um, he's not wanting to see that it's definitely the person everybody thinks it is because, she's usually taking the direct approach. Like she's mad at you, she's going to come up and punch you in the face, kind of thing. But this mysterious ninja isn't doing that. So it's like, is it really who everybody thinks it is? Or is it somebody else? You don't know. So I really want to rewrite it to where it's more mysterious, but I'm going to need help on that one. It's because I know who it is. I definitely know who it is. But, coming up with that extra stuff where, like Ashley walks into her room and then, the mysterious ninja is, walking out to the stable when you know that Angel only lets Ashley ride him, that would be a little weird. And the only thing that I can think of to the only thing I could think of to go with that is to instead change it from being a horse to being uh, a new motorcycle. Yeah. Well, I just I came up with the idea of maybe it should be a motorcycle instead. So anyway, I might totally rewrite parts of that so it's so it's the motorcycle instead. um but in one of Sean's nightmares, the horse angel goes and turns into the man angel. And then they're on I believe they're on a different horse together, and they're kissing. It's a weird nightmare. But anyway, then like I said, then there's um oh, I mean, and like I've said a million times, there's also a children's book called the series is called Adopted, and the first book in the series is Coral. Because I don't have any pictures of Sweetie. That was our first cat, and she wasn't as sweet as her name uh suggests. She'd be claws first, ask questions later. Yeah. But so the first book is Coral, and it just kind of tells you how she got into the family and introduces you to the family, except for me because I don't really like my picture being in things where it's actually recorded. But then I get upset that I'm not there, so it's like I've got to have some pictures, but I don't know how I would do it. Um, Besides that, my husband sometimes takes a picture and um, he might be the one that, you're taking a prom picture and he cut both heads off in the picture. So it's like from the. You are not. Okay, so he takes pictures every day for work, but it's different when there's people in the picture. I've noticed that he doesn't take the best pictures when there's people in the picture. But he takes really good pictures for work. I will say that. He takes really good pictures for work. Anyway. So for the hardbacks, my books are Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times. They're all $26 for the hardback, and then Esperanza's Party is 24. The Island is 25. Lessons in Love is 27, and Coral's book is not available in hardback at the moment. I think I'm gonna have to do a Coral and Ben and a Coral and Ben, and then I'll be able to have the hardback. So just wait a little bit longer, and I will have that if you like hardback books instead of paperback books, because I know some children are not so nice to their books. I have noticed that one of the families I watch on, I call them the Don't Stop Meowing family when I'm talking about them on stream here. And their little guy, he's only, I think 2. And he is so careful with books. He sits there and they'll have story time. It'll be like Daddy Taj and Kareem Taj and Chase, or Kareem Taj and Princess, or I don't remember Millie going over there and getting story time, but I'm sure she has too. Um, they just haven't recorded it. But it's just so cute. And then, now they're gonna have Giselle, and this time next year she'll probably be walking, and I don't want to wish her life away at all whatsoever. She just got born, but it's gonna be like so cool to watch their family, uh, to watch their family grow. Although I started watching it for the kitty cats. They're not on there as much anymore, but it's. I was a little worried about that because, like, all of a sudden they have kids and kids do funny stuff, and like he's got I think it's a professional shed, like from Home Depot, but made into a playhouse. And they're trying to tell him, now that Giselle's born, you're going to have to share with your sister. And he, at the moment, he's saying, yeah, I'm going to share, but I don't know if he's going to because, some little kids, they just don't have share in their. No, not want to say in their vocabulary. They don't have share in their mindset. They're the people that would go down the road dead in the middle just so nobody can pass them if they're driving. Um, oh my goodness, they're gonna have to go and they might have to go and do two cars at once now. Well, because when she gets old enough to sit up, and she's gonna want to go bye bye in the remote control car too. Yeah, I totally didn't explain that properly. Yeah. If he's getting confused, then it's likely that you all were getting confused. I'm sorry. It's a Power Wheels size car, but it's remote control. And does Walmart even have those anymore? Because I know I'm pretty sure that Target didn't have them, but maybe they do in the bigger stores. I don't know. But anyway, Power Wheels, usually your kid um, presses the gas and or your child. Some people don't like the word kid and they like the word child. But anyway, like your child goes and presses the button, the go pedal with their foot, and they make it go. Well, these ones have a remote control on them. I think Taj is old enough that he could probably get Power Wheels, but Giselle obviously, she just got born, so that's not happening. Although this family, they'd probably go and buy it now. They'd probably buy her the Barbie car, assuming the Barbie car is available. Because, Power Wheels, they go and send different ones to. Last time I saw it, there was a Cinderella carriage. They go and send different ones. They seem to send different ones all the time. And one time they had a Cinderella carriage. I thought that was pretty cool. But that may be a thing that parents don't want to do that much anymore because a lot of parents don't like to go outside. I know I didn't like to go outside, but that's because outside has bugs. Outside has uh, sweltering sunshine, or at least here it does. Sweltering sunshine. What? I don't know. I'm just not used to going outside. I was the Lego, I mean, the watch TV Lego kid. Um, yeah, the indoor kid. And then when we got video games, to play video games, that was fun. The only thing that I would have liked to do better is well, I loved writing stories, but like I would have liked it if we could video game and watch TV. But of course, Nintendo, because that's what we started out with, plugged into the TV. So it was like, do you want to watch TV or um, do you want to play video games? So yeah. Anyway, so I told you about my books. And I started to tell you about my books. Okay. So, the paperbacks for the novels are all $20, and then Coral's book is 6. And then Coral's book for the ebook is $2.99. Pirate's Daughter and Esperanza's Party are $3.05, and all the others are 5. And if you are watching me on um, Twitch right now, please follow and chat. And if you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. As I said, please, 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 please buy my books. Um, Not only do we need the money, but I would need money for giveaways, and um, I kind of think it's more fun if we can all pitch in for giveaways. Like, I would like it if I could find not the cheap keychains, not the cheap ones, the professional grade keychains, but something that would make um keychains, and like you can get a keychain um of Pirate's Daughter. Well, I was gonna say Esperanza's Party. So you can get like a keychain of Esperanza's Party, and then if you collect keychains, maybe get one for Pirate's Daughter and Misfortune, all of them. And then, like maybe I could someday make it to where you buy a book and you get a keychain at the same time. Those same one low price for the book, but you get that. I'm working on that kind of stuff. I don't know how I would be able to afford it at the moment, but I'm working on those kind of ideas. And like for Christmas, I want to be able to do those pillow, um, those pillow like Christmas ornaments that um, that would not break, with a picture of one of my books on it, or just generically a pirate ship. Um, maybe I can get somebody to actually draw that pirate ship, and then I'd be able to take a picture of it. And because otherwise I have Minecraft art, and I build the pirate ship pretty dang good in I really do. I built it pretty good here in Minecraft, and I would like to be able to have somebody draw it the way I built it, but as a realistic looking pirate ship. And I just don't know any artists. And I've got a ton of artists on Discord right now that are asking me to use them as my artist, and the problem is that the problem is that all of them look like they uh like that awesome art that you put on cars. All that awesome art that you put on cars, they look like they would be great at drawing that, but not the stuff that I need them to draw. So at the moment I'm using um AI art from Windows Paint. And I know that that's like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, AI art." That steals ideas from other people, and yeah, maybe it does, but I put it in very specific stuff. So, like, if they're wearing a blue shirt, I put in, Irish girl, green eyes, blue shirt, stuff like that. And, I try to make sure that it is very specific to what I need. So it's not stealing other people's stuff. It's taking inspiration from other people's stuff, but not actually stealing it. So I hope all of you will not hold that against me. Um, so anyway, that's what I'm using at the moment, but it would be nice to be able to use an artist or a digital artist. That I think that would be the best. A digital artist, and because I want it to look real. I don't want it to look uh I don't want it to look cartoony. I don't want it to look like it just stepped off of a car detail counter or whatever. Um, I want it to look nice. I want it to look awesome. And okay, so one last thing. Dang, it's almost noon. Okay, so we gotta go. Oh, look. Okay, so if we get this done, I mean, we still gotta get that all the way down to bedrock over there. But, well, yeah, that too. And that, and that, and that, and that. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but this is the flat part that is near the school. Um, See, the school is right there at that corner. Would you stop that, rude dude? I don't know if he was hungry or if he was just being a evil person, but normally I don't do that. I don't kill the animals on Minecraft, but I don't like it when they're killing each other, so anyway, so we do have to go, and as soon as I flatten this out one more We need kitty litter, Cheetos, and preferably ice cream. Because when we come back, well, we need kitty litter because when we come back, I'm going to do litter boxes. Okay. So, yeah, see, this is what happened yesterday. Is I just kept going and going and going and going
Yeah, and then you don't bother to work on your story.
and then I didn't bother to work on my story and I don't like calling it a book until it's actually in book form. Um, but like I said, I'm thinking about changing the story a little bit because I wrote it like it was definitely Ashley, and then that doesn't make any sense. It should be um, it should be more mysterious than that. Um, but I didn't know how to do it at the time, so I was like, okay, I'll write it like it's Ashley, and then um, for now, and then I'll be able to figure out how to mysterious ninja it later. Well, also, there's the problem of a horse would not be able to get there. A movie is usually about 2 hours, unless it's longer or shorter. But like I haven't bothered to say what movie they're watching most of the time. It's just they're going to the movies. So I generically go with 2 hours. So no horse is going to be able to go, even if they left just after. Um, it takes an hour to get to town on, by car. And so I don't think even a horse could get there in enough time to get there, trash the truck, and get back before they got back. So, yeah, I've been really thinking about that. And maybe he would be bribing Angel because, Angel's going to be, um, Angel's going to be trying to stop Sean from, uh, from, Angel's going to be trying to stop Sean from stopping Ashley. And or maybe we just take that whole horse thing. I mean, I'm gonna take the whole horse thing out of there, I think, and have to redo it, and then just redo those parts where the horse was. Um, but I'm saying that like it doesn't you know it the time frame doesn't work. So I don't know. I already wrote it with Angel in there, but that made more sense when I said it was only a half an hour to town. But I made it like it was an hour toward town because it's like supposed to be out in the countryside kind of thing, and I like that better. But now that's an hour to town, and I came up with that because I don't know, something in a book with Sean and Jesse's younger brother Brandon. It's like, okay, is it an hour to town? Is a half an hour to town? Is an hour to town? A half an hour to town? And like, I did that for a whole entire month or something like that. Anyway, it was a really long time, and I did not know the answer to the question, and I'm sitting there going, what is the answer? And then I just decided an hour. So that meant that everybody had to show up to the DMV on um, on is it either Friday or Saturday. It was probably Saturday. They all had to show up to the DMV so he could take his test, and they were ready to give him his license right then and there, but he still had to do the driving test. And the only thing he got marked down for was stopping for some geese crossing the road. And he pointed out that the DMV handbook says avoid an accident if possible, or something like that. And it was words to the effect avoid an accident if possible. And he decided the slaughter of geese would have been an accident, you know. So, yeah. Anyway. Anyway. Where is my pleated? I am lost. I'm really lost now. No, I think that's the other side. Oh, this is the flat side. That's the not flat side. Okay, I get it. Um, I always get lost in my world. Unless there's buildings that I actually recognize, I always get lost in my world. I think it's kind of funny because people do a tour of their world, and they like seem to know where everything is, and I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that. I have to put signs on everything so I know exactly what it is. And then the problem is that I can't read it from, the road, going by it on the road. And I'm like, I think that's this and I think that's that. And yeah. Anyway, so we've got to go. I will see you in the next stream or video.